I forgot to do the car video, so this is what we got. League. We're back out at Cedarock Park playing the Sneaky Pete's, but all pins are in the short location, so it's a slightly easier Sneaky Pete. I'm starting on hole 3. I have been in the car for the last hour and a half and working fairly diligent in Raleigh, so I'm at home. I'm happy to be playing disc golf, and I've not thrown a single disc, and I'm going to throw something off of 2, walking to 3. So one hole practice.
Hey guys, welcome back to Urban Cowboy Disc Golf. Like and subscribe if you want more of this content. Here I am just right before a round trying to throw 2 shots for practice, one backhand, one forehand. And hey, we're going to have a fun round. This is just last second. I was driving as fast as I could to make this league round. So we start off on hole 3. Thank goodness it wasn't far from the car. It's just a straight shot. The only real danger is releasing it early or grip locking it into the right stuff. So I normally throw backhand, but I actually have chosen forehand most of the time for this hole. This hole is not the most fun. It's better in the par 4 position, but this is the par 3 position just beside that tree. And here is James. He's on my card today. He's past his prime disc golf on YouTube. Look him up. He's real fun. He's an MA3 player. So here's where I landed, just inside circle 1 for the first throw out of the car, or second throw out of the car technically, for forehand. And it's really good so far. Just trying to just a little right side. I'm not any putting practice, unfortunately. So we get into hole 4. We just got that par. 284 feet. This one, I like it better in the left position because it's in those bunch of trees to the left. This one's just in the middle of the field, so I gotta hold it far right and let it crash in, and it's on a down slope. So I threw my spur here. I threw my curl on the last hole, but here's my spur, 9-speed, overstable. Just threw it to the right and tried to let it spike. It kind of spiked better than I thought it would, and I ended up pretty close, but I'm outside circle, just looking at it, and I'm waiting for other people to go, but I didn't realize that I was actually CTP, so there's somebody else putting, and it rolls directly behind my disc, and I was like, hey, look, I'm still CTP, and I'm just waiting on my buddy. I'm now still CTP. This is I think Dallas, who's actually one of my friends who I play doubles with all the time. I played triples with him and won before, and he tried to throw me the CTP, and he's like, oh, it's not going to hold up because this is our second hole. Everyone still has to play this hole to get CTP, like the people behind us. And I'm like, well, hey, look, getting the CTP is the first challenge. A lot of people will never get it. And he just misses that putt right. It's like, dang it. So far my card has Dallas and James, and I forget the other guy's name. I'll put it up somewhere. Here I go to try to make my putt, but outside the circle, I'm not very. I need to work on my outside the circle putts. Yeah, I just didn't give it enough juice, and it faded out. It left me with a little bit of a putt left over, but you got to make your comebackers. And I just splash it in. Hey, on to the next hole. Still even, at least. James taps out his. We got hole 5, 295 feet. Plays a little uphill, and I'm throwing the brand new disc that I actually plan on later today, filming a What Is the Chuck. And I love the name, obviously, because the Yeet, the Chuck, sounds like a hooligan disc, but it's not. It is a 5.5 -2.1, kind of like the Bobcat. I got this Chuck in a quarter 2 package from Lone Star. They sent me the custom team stamp Mockingbird, and then I asked for this and they gave it to me, and I appreciate them so very much. And unfortunately, I turned it over and go into the bushes on the right. I fight through to give myself a putt, but it's far away. I'm about 100 feet away from the basket. and getting attacked by a bee at the current moment. You can see it almost flying around the camera. Maybe I wasn't 100 feet away, but it felt like 100 feet. And just leave it short for no reason at all. Just tap it out. That's 3 pars in a row, and I could easily have gotten birdie on all of them. So this one I'm going to have to explain quickly. We are far, far down a hill and have to come way up and left that pin location, and I threw it perfectly, except that maybe I could have added a little bit more height for it to get more left and higher up the hill, but this is pretty good. Once again, it's that spur. It's my lean on disc, forehand and backhand for that matter. It does what I want it to do. It's beat in perfectly. I go for just about a 25 footer or maybe a 20 footer. There we go. So that's the first birdie of the round. I'm extremely happy about that. Coming up on some of the not so easy holes. Hole 7 should be easy. I don't know why this one's so hard for me. It's a headwind all the time hole is what happens, and you'll see me roll up here, grab a piece of grass, and prove to myself I shouldn't throw anything that could flip all the way over. I need to start throwing forehands here. I think a forehand could easily get there. It isn't that hard of a hole. It's just backhand gives you more access to the green. Forehand, you have to kind of spike it in there or keep it low the entire way. Those 2 big pines on the left will stop a forehand. I'm throwing the curl here just because I know if I threw my lariat, which was in my hand, it would have flipped all the way over. So like this one, it flipped over and it kept holding to the right. If I put any hyzer on it and put it on the right, I think it would have come in. I think I need to start putting hyzer on more things. Here I've got a chance at this birdie, but it's still an outside the circle look. I thought I had it for a second, but it didn't fade at all. I thought the wind would push it more left because I'm got a little bit of right to left crossed wind. And then we've got just my little tap in afterwards. Jog over there, finish it off. Something tickling my back. Not the easiest of putts. Right for my liking. Right side, just strong side. So that's still 1 under, another par on the card where I could have gotten birdie.
There's nothing like something tickling you in the actively want the Harrier.
So this hole has been my nemesis for a minute. It's a fairly long hole. All you got to do is boost it out there a couple of times and you should be able to get at least an easy shot at par. And the thing is, I've thrown forehand, I've thrown backhand. I don't have anything flippy in my bag because this is an automatic tailwind because it's always facing the opposite way as hole 7. So it's a lot of tailwind compared to the last hole. And I throw it, I grip lock the crap out of it, but it actually ends up working out perfectly because that disc is just stable enough to come back, and I'm directly in front of that person near the red tee, which somebody yelled for. So like now I'm actually like in position to get birdie on this hole for the first time in a while. But my issue is like as soon as I see it ahead of me, I kind of get too much in my head. Here we go. I released it so early in that throw that it's going to go left, and everything inside the fence to the left, because it's inside the wood line, is OB. I was worried about going OB, but thank God I just was short of the OB by a little bit. You can almost make out that fence to the left, but I've got a little step out forehand to make it up there. And I just wanted to slow it down, so I took it to a knee and just gave it a little bit of juice, but not too much, because I also don't want to go too far past. I want to make an easy par putt. So now we've got the like 3rd or 4th putt where my upshot has not put me too close, but these are most of the time gimmies. It's that MA2 putting style. I can most of the time get the 20 footer, but I'm not going to get the 30 footer. here we are in hole 9, which is probably on the left side pin is difficult but not impossible. The right side pin is dang near impossible. And doing that right there is not going to net you a birdie. I end up right at the top of the tree, and I just spit out of the bush to the left a little bit. My other two buddies ended up in the woods, like in that bunch of bushes. So here we go. I'm trying to backhand something soft and let it fade and kind of skip down a hill towards the basket on the right side. And I've got my soft copperhead. So I'm just like, okay, just put a little hyzer. I threw it flat. It faded down the hill. You got to remember anything you throw downhill is going to be slightly more understable. So this is for my par save, and I'm going to spread out and try to, with my stretchy pants, try to make this par putt from about 25 feet. It'll keep the bogeys out of contention. Sweet. So I make that putt, and another par on the card. That was a par I had to earn, though. It was not an easy par. So we got hole 10. This is the gap hole. So we're going from a like elevated position, but we're really just going straight flat. There's no up or down. It's really just a flat hole with a valley in between, and you've got to make this gap dead straight. I grabbed my Mockingbird, was like, this will hold straight. If anything, it'll turn over. But as you'll see, you can't see because it immediately goes in the woods on the left-hand side. But it fights through a little bit to get on at least the other side of the creek. So here I am. Unfortunately, the other side of the creek is full of danger. And I just said, nah, I can't even do anything about it. I tried to put that on a roller angle to get it up the hill, but it wasn't going anywhere. It hit several bushes on the way out. So snap, it took me a minute to get out of the bush. And then a super long 100-foot putt to try to save my par, but I had already known I was getting bogey on this hole. As soon as I released that out of my hand off the tee, I was like, yep, that's a bogey. Yeah, I tried to put a lot on it. I ended up at least pin high, so I'm not making a super long putt for birdie, for bogey. Let's go. Hole 11, par 3, 214 feet. It is kind of, I would say, if any of these holes on this course was a gimmick, it would be this hole because it almost forces you to throw a grip lock. Now, it's not a gimmicky hole because it's a shot you actually have to make, but I'm not the best at it, and I should have just grabbed what I normally throw, and it's in the right position, but this one's in the left position right now. But here's the funniest part of my round. That's an ant pile my disc is sitting in, and I'm just like, well, I can take backwards relief. I don't want to put my foot in that ant pile, and here I am putting my foot in my knee behind the ant pile. Miss my putt. And then my buddy's like, oh, since you don't want to go in there, you want to use the sticky suction cup grabber for the deep river stuff when you have to grab it out of. And it's James to the rescue. Oh no, you got it. It was saved from the ants. There's like 2 ants on it. So hole 12. This is probably one of the ones that like I've birdied the most on this course because there's a lot of danger early, but if you can just complete a throw without early or late, you're gonna get the birdie most days. Like I threw a forehand, I threw it with a overstable disc, a 9-speed, 214 feet. But the thing is, the creek catches a lot of stuff, and it did. I was parked for birdie, so that was unfortunately I did not catch my birdie putt, but it was literally parked, so there was nothing.
I might have a putt at it though. I'm not in the woods.
This was a good shot in general, but like I wanted it a lot more flat. So my issue was there. I just didn't throw it flat like I wanted to. So this is like my 4th circle's edge, a little inside maybe. I was like, I could do the straddle, but it has some stuff in my way for the straddle, so I'll go ahead and do, I mean, my staggered, so I'll do the straddle because it'll get everything out of my way.
That's about directly behind it.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And that right there, I knew it was low the entire time. I was like, darn it. So here we got hole 14. It's 250 feet basically up the hill. And this one is the elevation change. It got to be at least like 30 or 40 feet straight up the hill. And what you want to do is kind of turn something over a little bit and get to the right of that tree, or just keep something flat and go to the left of the tree. So I decided to do that second thing and go to the left of the tree like I always do, because I chose to do that and I didn't want to be parked for this hole. So I'm up here, and I have been in that position more times than not on this hole. Like I never overturned this. Like maybe once I've overturned the disc going up this hill. Birdie. Now we've got hole 15, another just like, I find it is a hole I just can't figure out. It's 350 feet, but like it's downhill. You're going to get there. And I always try too hard and turn something right over and end up on the right side, which gives you an easy chance for up and down birdie, up and down boat, par, up and down par. But me, I just couldn't figure out what to do, so I ended up throwing it at trees at the right, but it's a simple putt from there.
Hey, be prepared to yell Ford.
So we get another par on the card,
Nice shot.
and it just happened. So birdie, par, here on 16, 341 feet, par 3. I'm going to throw the curl again.
There you go. I hope that's good.
And I got that released exactly how I wanted it. The only difference from that and the perfect shot would be I wanted the perfect shot to just keep straight for a little bit longer. This skipped early and then skipped on the left side of the trees and underneath this giant pine, of course. So me, I have to get to the knee, get low because of the low ceiling, try to give it as much power as I can to go up the hill and keep it low. Such a beautiful putt. If I do say so myself, which I did. So it is a beautiful putt.
I mean, Mac can throw it 600 off the speed, but it can't be that bad.
We got hole 17. This one's a bomber for me. I do not throw 400 feet normally, but after that last throw where I went 340 almost, really just 300, I felt like I could get this one, but I would have to actually give it some juice. So I was like, okay, give it the athletic try.
That is the best throw I've had on this.
And I feel like I actually got a hold of that one because it definitely flipped up, flipped over, kept carrying straight, and I think I was a little short of pin high, but like maybe 10 feet short of pin high. So like 390 on a throw is not bad at all. If I would have had it a little bit more left, and here's the loudest noise of the day. I muted it on the camera, but flipping, it was a plane flying over, and I was like, if I putt during this, maybe I'll make it. No, I missed it. Thanks, plane. We got hole 18 is a lot easier than I think. It's a lot easier than 8.
There's no feeling.
And 8 I can barely reach, but this is also flat. 8's downhill. This is flat, and you gotta put together 2 decent throws of like 325 to get there, and like 300 is my like average throw that I can get, I feel like. And then I threw really well. Trying to get this one up, but you want to make sure you end up at the top of the hill. The grass will not skip. It does not move when it hits the ground. You got it to turn just a little bit. It fades just a little bit, and I'm not behind those 2 trees on the right. So about a 20-footer, and I've got some spectators up at the top of the hill. They're over near where hole 1 is. They are finished with their round. We got 2 more holes left. There's Matt Thompson and Jawa. Matt Thompson. I want to film around with him. He's pretty cool. And then you've seen Jawa on the channel plenty of times. James and everybody. packing through. So hole 1, I would say in the short pins, the easiest hole on the course, as long as you can throw 260 feet. Maybe, I forget how long it was, I couldn't remember. But I threw the Mockingbird on a hyzer just to have it crash in, but I didn't put enough air on it to get it to spike at all. It skips big out to the left. Leaves me with about a circle's edge putt. But shout out to the guys on my card. They were super cool with me today. This cheating lefty. Everybody that throws lefty is cheater. He had a pretty good throw. I think he sat down. We got Dallas. He's actually going to throw a disc I gave him the other day that me and my wife died. A Rebecca Cox Raider, Dynamic Discs Raider. She's still with Dynamic Discs, or at least what's it called?
He's like the Latitude
64. He throws that great, but ends up directly behind the front tree. And it was just cool. It was a good shot, but his putting is not the best right now. He's just getting back into disc golf. And then me for this last putt right here, make it, thank goodness. Little 30-footer that I didn't deserve. We got one more hole. Hole 2? Yeah, hole 2. And here I'm going to stop and kind of giggle. There's a little kid off camera that's leaving with his dad. And they were like, the little kid was like, I don't want to leave. Hole 2, 333 feet. I can get a forehand there all day long, which really makes me think I could definitely get a forehand to hole 7. I don't know why I screw up hole 7 so much. There it is, flips up a little bit. Didn't get it low enough. If it was low enough, it would have been perfect, but I went sailing past the basket and was down near 12's basket. So I was playing a hole 10 holes away, really. But here I am, about 45, 50 feet away, trying to make the putt. And just missed it left. There's not enough power on it. But it was a really good round. I got 6 birdies and 1 bogey, unfortunately, and my
Okay, here we go. There's a box that's perfectly in frame. It's a box of clothes, kids' clothes. Here's what we got. That was a really good round for me. I was actually if the backhand felt really good, smooth. As long as I wasn't trying too hard, it felt smooth. It took about 7 holes for it to start feeling really good though. So like it was the last 5, 6 holes that like my backhand felt great. Forehand, it comes and goes. It didn't feel bad today, but I didn't also lean on it because it's not a forehand course. Like if you're gonna work on a backhand, you go there for working on your backhand. There's like 3 holes maybe for a good forehand. Other than that, putting was good, but it took about to the back half for me to feel good about my putting. Yeah, like and subscribe on my channel. You have a good one.